Shabbat Shalom, and if you are in California, you are experiencing what is known as June gloom, but we're not gloomy in the sanctuary, we're happy, because we're here as a community, and we're also here as a community to those of you out in live stream land. So we're going to start by really appreciating the fact that we can breathe. It's not a little thing. And so we're just going to take a moment for breath, and we're going to sing 2 words, if you're ready for this. Elohai Neshama. Psalm 150, how we praise God with so many instruments, and we're just going to bring it. We're just going to sing it and harmonize, I hope. Lots of harmonizing. Hallelujah. we rise? Page 143, Ozi v'zimrat Yah, third line from the left. Ozi v'zimrat Yah, vayehi li shua. 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 Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. You may be seated unless you're saying Kaddish. If you're saying Kaddish, remain standing. Page 121. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah. Be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. B'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam elomei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yithalal shemei dekudesha brichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata da'amiran be'elma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'el kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
You may be seated. Shabbat shalom. It's nice to see so many of you here in our sanctuary, join us online, despite the June gloom that Chazan Mimi mentioned. It's still a beautiful Shabbat morning here in Woodland Hills. And I want to share a little bit. In our Shacharit service, we read the words, Ranenu tzadikim b'Adonai, sing joyfully to Adonai, O you righteous ones. And on Shabbat, we find these words. We don't see them during the weekday. And on Shabbat, we're supposed to come in and sing loud and sing with joy and with ruach, with spirit. So this Shabbat morning, I invite all of us here, and even if you're online watching on your couch or in your bed having your coffee, sing loud in your room. Join Chazan Mimi and all of us and sing joyfully. We'll continue with Shochein Ad on page 147.
So again, here's a little nigun that we start with to get us into it. Yai lai lai. Nadash, Machalot Rivavot Amcha Bet Yisrael, Shekein Chovat Kol Yitzurim, Lefanecha Adonai Eloheinu Velohei Avotenu, Lo Dod La Leila Shabek Lefaer L'Romem, Lahader, Levarech Ulaleu Kales, Al Kodivrei Shirot Fetish Bechot, David ben Yishai, Avdecha Meshichecha, Yishtabak Shimcha La'ad Malkeinu, Ha'el Melech HaGadol v'HaKadosh B'Shamayim Uva'aretz, Ki Lechana Elonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu, Shir Shvach Halel v'Zimra, Ozu Memshala Netzach Girulo Gevurah Tehila v'Tiferet Kedusha U'Malchut, Berachot ve'hodaot me'ata ve'ad olam, Baruch atah Adonai, El Melech Gadol Batishbachot, El HaHodaot Adon HaNiflaot, HaBocher B'Shirei Zimra, Melech Elchei HaOlamim. We're in the middle of page 148. Yitgadav, Yitkadash Shemei Rabbah, V'yalmad divrach hirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yamachon v'chayei l'kol Beit Yisrael, b'hagala u'v'zman kari v'imeru. Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach, la'alam l'amei almayayit. Yitbarach v'yishtavach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudisha b'richu la'ela mikol b'rchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran ve'alma ve'imeru. Amen. We rise for the call to worship. Continue to El Adon, page 151. El Adon al kol hamasim, baruch umvorach b'fikol neshama, godlo v'tuvo malei olam, datut vuno sovevimoto, godlo v'tuvo malei olam, datut vuna sovevimoto, hamit ga'e achayot hakodesh v'nedar b'chavod al hamerchava, zechutu mishor lifnei chiso, chesed v'rachamim lifnei chevod. Osim be'ema retzon konam. Zeichim betzeitam v'sasim bevoam. Osim be'ema retzon konam. Be'er v'chavon nonim lishmo. Sola verina lezecher malchuto. Kara l'shemesh v'yizrach or. Rav v'hitkin surat halvana. Kara l'shemesh v'yizrach or. Rav v'hitkin surat halvana. Shevach nonim lo kol tzeva marom. Tiferet ugdulas rafim v'yofanim v'chayot hakodesh. Tiferet ugdulas rafim v'yofanim v'chayot hakodesh. Page 153, but we're gonna do a little nigun first. Yalla lai 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 lai. Yalla lai 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 lai. Yalla lai 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 lai. Yalla lai lai lai. Or chadash. Otziyotai. Or chadash. Baruch atah Adonai Yotzer HaMeorot. Next page for Ahava Rabbah. Ahava Rabbah Avtanu Adonai Eloheinu Chem Nagid Olav Yiteva Gamalta Aleinu Avinu Malkeinu Bavur Avotenu Shabbat Uvecha
In today's world, the modern world, with access to constant push notifications, news updates, social media feeds, we're constantly scrolling through all of our apps, choosing what we want to engage with, what sources we want to read versus those that we don't want to read. And now, many articles now even tell us the average read time that it takes to read that article. Now, on one hand, it allows us to know if we have time to read that specific article at that moment, or we can bookmark it and save it for later. We do not want to waste any time in our precious days. There are even now articles out there that just give us the highlights of what we need to know in bite-sized pieces of information. It can be challenging for us to just sit there with one app open, with one tab open, without constantly jumping back and forth the moment we get bored. The Shema and the Via Hafta, they tell us to slow down, to not simply scroll through or change our apps or our tabs, but rather to take our time with each and every word. Maimonides, in his Mishnah Torah, tells us that we should pause in between words, so that the words do not become muddled when we recite them. As we move towards the Shema and the Via Hafta, let us practice being fully present in this moment, to take it one word at a time. Our rabbis even invite us to close our eyes, to shut out the distractions swirling around us in order to bring our full attention to God and to the words of the Shema and the Via Hafta. As we continue, I invite all of us wearing a talit to grab the four corners, the four tzitziot, as I also invite up Mason, who's going to lead us in the Shema. We'll continue on the bottom of 154, V'havi'enu.
הבוחר בעמו ישראל באהבה.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol lavavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha. Ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinatan levanecha ve'dibarta bam ve'shimtecha u'v'tedecha uve'eftecha v'derech uve'shokbecha uve'kumecha u'kshartam leod al yadecha ve'hayu letotafot beinenecha u'chdartam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha.
We'll continue silently on the top of 156.
Vayomer Adonai. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemur daber b'nei Yisrael ve'amarta alehem v'asu lahem tzitzit al kanfei vigdehem ledorotam ve'natnu al tzitzit הכנף ודיר תכלת והיה לכם ציצית וריתם אותו וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם ולא תטורו אחרי לבבם ואחרי עיניהם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים אליכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת
We'll turn to our Shachrit Amidah, which can be found on 159, led by Mason.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah El Hagidol Hagibor v'Hamvorah El Elyon Glume hakol velo her hasde avot Leviro vel levenehem Leman shemo achara Melech ozer ufokeh umoshia umagen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham ufokeh Sarah Atah gibor leolam Adonai Mechaye metim atah Rav lechoshia Midhai atah Mechakel hayim bechesed Mehaye metim berachamim rabim Somech noflim verofer olim Umatir asurim Umekayem emunato Lishenei afar Milchamocha ba'agevurot Umidom elam Uelech lemit umechayeh Umatzmiach Yeshua V'nei aman ad lavayot metim Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh hametim
Shivchacha Eloheinu Ipinu Lo Yamush Leolam Va'ed Ki El Melech Gadol V'Kadosh Ata Baruch Ata Adonai
Continue silently on page 162 through 166.
Yitgadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah B'yamad divrachim v'teviam lich malchute b'gayachonu v'yamachonu v'chayed chol beit Yisrael Ba'agalau v'zman kari v'imeru Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach Le'alam lamei amaya yit Yitbarach v'yishbach v'yitbar v'yitmam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudisha Berichulele mikovergata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata damiran be'alama v'yimeru Titkabal salotonu vatahon decho Yisrael kodama v'hon v'yishmaya v'yimeru יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו
Amen. I'm going to turn to our Torah service on 168. I'm going to invite up Steve Hoish, our Baal Torah. There he is. And those who have been honored with opening the ark to please come forward at this time. And we'll begin all together 168, Ein Kamocha.
אין כמוך ואלוהים אדוני ואין כמעשיך מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים וממשלתך בכל דור ודור אדוני מלך אדוני מלך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני עוז לעמו ייתן אדוני יברך את עמו בשלום אב הרחמים היטיבה ברצונך את ציון תבנה חומות ירושלים תבנה חומות ירושלים כי בך לבד בטחנו מלך אלרם ונישא אדון עולמים.
We rise as the ark is open.
ויהי בנשוא הארון ויאמר משה קומה אדוני ויפוצו אויביך וינוסו משדך מפניך כי מציון תצא תורה כי מציון תצא תורה ודבר מירושלים ברוך שנתן תורה ברוך שנתן תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו.
We'll turn to page 169, the right-hand side, third paragraph from the top, a prayer for one's personal journey. Please join it together. Open my eyes, God. Help me to perceive what I have ignored, to uncover what I have forsaken, to find what I have been searching for. Remind me that I don't have to journey far to discover something new, for miracles surround me, blessings and holiness abound, and you are near. We'll continue the bottom of page 170.
Adonai
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonai, Kadosh Shemo.
Gadlu Ladonai iti uneromema Shemo Yachdav.
Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu ve'ishtachavu lehar kodsho. Keep kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Keep kadosh Adonai Eloheinu
May be seated. You can put away your sidors, the one red book, and take out your Etz Chaim, the other red book. And we'll turn to page 816 for our Torah reading, Behalotcha. If you're at home and don't have a copy of the Etz Chaim, you can find another copy of your Chumash. It's going to be Numbers chapter 8, verse 1.
We don't have a gab on.
Oh, if you've been honored with the first Aliyah, please come forward at this time.
Kol achosim bo v'nomar amen. Hakol avu godel Eloheinu unu chavod laTorah ya'amod. Eliezer ben David v'Gula Rishon. Baruch shenatan Torah le'amo Yisrael b'kedushato. V'yaten hadvikim b'Adonai Elohechem hayim kulchem hayom.
Baruch Adonai Barach
Baruch Adonai Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol amim v'natan lanu et Torato Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. Daber el Aharon ve'amarta elav ve'ha'alotecha et hanerot el mul pnei hamenorah ya'iru shivat hanerot vayas ken Aharon El mul pnei hamenorah he'ela neroteha ka'asher ziva Adonai et Moshe v'zeh ma'aseh hamenorah miksha zahav ad yerecha ad pircha miksha hif kamar Asher her Adonai et Moshe Kain asa et hamenorah.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chaye olam nata betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
So, what does it mean to be humble? What do you think? Say, like, if you think about definition, description, what does it mean to be humble? Maybe, yeah, Sina. Sorry? Not to boast. Leora, did you have your hand up, Leora? No. Yeah. Sorry? Down to earth. Okay. Yep. Not to be overly impressed with yourself. Not to think you're better than everyone else.
It's to realize that whatever you've done or whatever you've accomplished, there have been other people that have contributed as much as you, if not more.
To realize whatever you've accomplished isn't just due to your own efforts, but other people around you. What else? That's a beautiful one. Yes, now you have one, Leora. Good. Not to have an ego. Okay? Is it good to have ego sometimes, though? So, sometimes. So, maybe at the right time. Okay? What else? Think about humble and the humility, you know, as you have. Yeah. Oh, so not to think that just accomplished by you, not just about the people around you, but perhaps, you know, there's a sense of God in your life, and somehow that's part of your accomplishments as well. Humble, humble. What else? Yeah, Rabbi. Yeah. Okay, in terms of rabbis, we were having a discussion. So I'll share with them the other discussion we've had. Here's the discussion. Should a rabbi have to wear a tie at Shabbat services? So like in many traditions, by the way, there is one tradition, and there's another tradition. And I want to thank Debbie Strom, I think, for helping me get to a place, right, of saying, you know, on a Shabbat that's casual, right, don't necessarily have to wear a tie. And why, by the way, just so you'll know, because one of the excuses I hear from people, one of the motivations that people say about not coming to services is, you know, it's not the top one, but it's up there, the top 5. Like, I just don't want to have to get dressed to go. Like, it's just such a big deal. And I'm trying to, you know, model that if you don't come, you know, with a suit and tie and, you know, shoes that are shined. So the question is, so by the way, I think people would say, in what? The Kohen Gadol, right? So you can be my Kohen Gadol. And so there are this idea of humility in terms of rabbi, I think, and there, in terms of what that role that they play, I think is a good question for some who maybe have too large an ego, some rabbis maybe in the wrong time. But let's maybe get off the track of rabbis for a moment. What other ways? Just humble. In the Torah, who is considered the humble individual? Moses. Now, do you think of Moses as being humble? You do. Why do you think of Moses as being humble? Okay, so we're going to get to those places then. Okay, we're going to get to, because they're actually in our parashah, the ones that are looked at. But those of you who don't know the sources, as Adam does so well, what else, and when you think of Moses as a humble, I mean, you generally don't, Steve. He thought about the community before himself. So on Mount Sinai, when God wants to kill everybody, he says, you know, don't kill them. But by the way, Moses, you know, why is he punished? It's interesting. I want you to think about not entering the land. What's the incident in which that punishment is, according to the rabbis, meted out? The rock. Right, he hid it, but what did he say? So there are two things. One, ye rebels, right? He calls the people rebels, and like when you're a leader and you call your people rebels, like you've lost that right respect. And two, he says, shall I bring forth water from the rock? instead of God. So there are many moments in which, right, Moses is not considered the most humble person. But I want you to think about in our portion today a couple of stories. And one of them is, it's really one of my favorite stories. And I think the whole notion of humility is laid out in our portion and in a couple of different areas. One is the story of Eldad and Medad. All right? Two of the Israelites who are accused of, right, who prophesy, but not apparently at the right moment. The story of, where would you pick up? It's like page 831. Okay? Actually, yeah, you can start there in verse 24. I want you to, about Eldad and Medad, the response of Joshua to it, the response of Moses to it, and then we'll talk more about Eldad and Medad are actually, by the rabbis, seen as being humble as well. And and they have to come up with a rabbinic tradition, of course. So I want you to think about that. I'm actually going to give you, I think, 2 aliyot to think about this through. So look it over. You can read through. I really want you to think, like, what do we learn potentially about humility? If you also want to look at the story of Moses and Aaron and Miriam, we're going to get to that more towards the end of the portion. But that'll give you some time to think. In the meantime, we're going to continue with the second aliyah. And that will be found at page 817, chapter 8, verse 5.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, ka ketalevim mitoch bnei Yisrael v'tiharta otam v'cho ta'aseh lahem letaharam hazeh alehem mechatat Ve'eviru ta'ar al kol besaram, ve'chivesu vigdehem, ve'hiteharu, ve'lakechu par ben bakar, uminchato, solet belulav ashamen, ufarshene ben bakar, Tikak lechatat, vehik ravta et halavim, lifnei ohel moed, vehikalta et kol adat bnei Yisrael.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. We'll continue with the third aliyah, found on page 817, Numbers chapter 8, verse 10.
Tovabat. Oh, wait a second. It's not going to be you. It's somebody else.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Ya'amadu. Leah Batsior, then Abraham, then David, Shlishi.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר בחר בנו מכל העמים ונתן לנו את תורתו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
Amen. Vihi krafta et halaviim lifnei Adonai. V'samechu v'nei Yisrael et yedehem al halaviim. V'henif aharon et halaviim tenufa lifnei Adonai me'et b'nei Yisrael. V'hayu la'avod et avodat Adonai. V'halaviim yismachu et yedehem al rosh haparim v'aseh et ha'echad chatat ve'et ha'echad ola Adonai lechaper al halaviim v'hamata et halaviim lifnei Aharon v'lifnei banav v'henif otam V'nafta otam tenufat ladonai v'hivdelta et halaviim mitoch b'nei Yisrael v'hayuli halaviim.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם בתוכנו. ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
All right, so the story of Eldad and Medad, we're turn, if you will. We're going to look at this together a little bit on page 831. Page 831, because it's a fascinating understanding here. So this is after that the people are complaining they want meat. Can Moses control the people anymore? So Moses went out and reported the words of the Lord to the people, that he was going to give them meat, the quail. He gathered 70 of the people's elders and stationed them around the tent. When the Lord came down in a cloud and spoke to him, he drew upon the spirit that was on him and put upon the 70 elders. When the spirit rested upon them, they spoke in ecstasy, but did not continue. By the way, for those Christian traditions that speak in tongues, ecstasy, this is the source. Right? That somehow they were speaking in an ecstatic way. And it's fascinating. Now, the 70 elders, how did they get these 70 elders? They don't talk about it. So there's a midrash. Of course there's a midrash, right? Of course there is. That Moses wants to get the 70 elders. He's got to figure out how to do it. He says, well, wait a minute. If I take 6 from every tribe, 12 tribes, I'm going to come up with how many, if you will not be included in these 70. And so one tradition says that Eldad and Medad, that they simply got, right, the ones that had nothing on it, and by the way, didn't complain. Said, okay, if that is God's will. Because by the way, one of the parts of the story that they have to understand is, why did prophecy still come to Eldad and Medad? That's part of their challenge. And by the way, why are Eldad and Medad mentioned by name while the other 70 are not? Do you want to really appoint, you want to give names to those who are not doing the right thing? And so one tradition says, by the way, and I love this midrash, that I think it was from Bami Bar Rabbah, that said that they actually didn't even have to do the drawing. That Eldad and Medad said, you know what? We're going to take ourselves out of it. Right? The other 70 are so much greater than us. And we don't want anybody to have to get a piece of paper that says that they're not worthy, and so we will take ourselves out of the lottery. This idea about the rabbis are trying to read in here about the sense of what does it mean to be humble? And how does God reward those who are humble? He rewards them with prophecy. Right? It comes to them, not because they want it, but because they're really ready to recognize maybe there are others who are more deserving of us. And it's in that moment tzimtzum, of right, contracting your will. Right? I know you love this stuff, right? That this is the idea of being able to be of anavut, that you have humility. And so, and what happens? What does Joshua say? Right? They said, like, you got to take it like the Eldad and Medad. You got to do something about these two. They are prophesying. And what does Moses say? What's the beautiful response? Were it that everybody should prophesy like them. By the way, if you don't know, I've talked about this before, there are 55 prophets that are actually accepted by the rabbis coming from the Bible. 48 that are men, 7 that are women. But according to the Talmud, there are actually, were at one time or another, more than 1 million prophets. I think the exact figure is 1.2. Right? They understood that prophecy comes in a number of different ways. So Eldad and Medad, and then we get the story about Aaron and Miriam. Do you know this story? What do they say about Moses? Does God only speak to him? And then, right? And what they think is a zinger to him, and he married that Cushite woman. Now, by the way, it's interesting, the rabbis, because Cushite was from an African tradition, they believe, or dark at least, and the rabbis actually say that was a compliment. Really, it's sort of like this is ahead of its time. What they said, Rashi and others say, black is beautiful. Isn't that something? That the darkness was actually perceived as being something of beauty. So what was their complaint? According to one tradition, it wasn't that they didn't like Zipporah. It was that, in fact, that Moses had stopped having relations with her. And that he had, actually, they say, divorced her. And that was wrong. Said they had to separate themselves for 3 days before the receiving of the Torah, but it says that Moses, right, afterwards, the rabbinic tradition says that he never went back to his wife. And that's what they were complaining about. Who is he? Does he think he's holier than thou, not to engage in the most sacred relationship of spouse? So it was a realistic idea of a criticism, and the rabbis want to see Moses. So Moses doesn't speak. It's here, by the way, that the phrase comes up. So look on page 833. Verse 3, did you see it, chapter 12? This is the story. Now Moses was a very humble man, anav me'od. Right? By the way, not all translations use the word humble. What other word do you think they might use? You'll often, by the way, it's a Christian idiom, and in the New Testament is used as well, meek. In some of the translations, you will find, actually I looked back, JPS, 1911, they use meek to translate it, which is interesting. The meek, by the way, Christian idiom, the meek shall inherit the earth. So, Moses is humble. Why in this story? Because he didn't have to defend himself. God defends him. And in the end, by the way, there's a beautiful ending I love when Miriam is afflicted with that sara'at, that white leprous, whatever it might be. And what does Moses do? Rather than celebrating, he prays for her health. And when we do Mishaberach in a moment for health, this is the origin, the source of it. Moses says these beautiful, just few simple words, Elna Rafana La. Please, God, heal her. All a sign of humility. So, what does it mean to be humble versus meek? So interesting, when you look up, some of you, when you put it in the affirmative, by the way, it's so hard to say. Right? What does it mean? Like a spirit of deference or submission. I'm looking at the dictionary translations. There's insignificant or unpretentious. Might be. The best one, and actually somebody said, right, it's a negative of an overly, right, aggressive behavior, if you will. Not proud or haughty, not arrogant or assertive. Isn't that interesting? The idea is here that humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking more of others. And to understand, right, that everybody has this potential. And we are not less. And there's wonderful ideas, the idea of humility. I hope you'll continue maybe discussions afterwards about what does it mean to be humble. Moses here is certainly in this moment recognized as the model, if you will. We're going to continue with the fourth Aliyah. Am I right, Bob? Good, thank you. I don't always get it right. Page 818. Adam, you're coming up, verse 15.
Ya'amod, Mendel,
Ben Zion,
Ben Sion,
Golda.
and the Golda, Revi'i.
Want to kiss it, Marty?
Yeah. Baruch hu et Adonai hamvarach. Baruch Adonai hamvarach leolam vaed. Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. ואחרי כן יבואו הלוויים לעבוד את המועד ותהייתה שמחן הפתעה צלופה כי נשונים המה לי מתוך בני ישראל תחת פיתות כל רחם בכור כל מבני ישראל לקחתי אותם לי כי לי כל בכור בבני ישראל באדם ובבהמה ביום הכוסי כל בכור בארץ מצרים הקדשתי אותם לי ויקח את הלוויים תחת כל בכור בבני ישראל ונס הלוויים נשונים לארון ובניו מתוך בני ישראל לעבוד את עבודת בני ישראל באוהל מועד ולכפר על בני ישראל ולא יביא בני ישראל נגף בגשת עבודה בני ישראל אל הקודש ויעש משה ואהרון וכל עדת בני ישראל ללוויים ככל אשר ציווה אדוני את משה ללוויים כן עשו להם בני ישראל ויסחטו הלוויים ויכבסו בגדיהם וינף אהרון עושם תנופה לפני אדוני ויכפר עליהם אהרון לטהרם ואחרי כן באו הלוויים לעבוד את עבודתם באוהל מועד לפני אהרון ולפני בניו כאשר ציווה אדוני את משה על הלוויים כן עשו להם.
Baruch ata Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu torat emet v'chaye olam nata v'tochenu. Baruch ata Adonai noten haTorah.
At this time, we're going to take a moment to say a Misha Berach, a prayer of healing for those in need. I invite those of you who have someone you are thinking about who is in need of healing to please rise at this time. Esther Bat Miriam, Shmuel, Aaron Ben Hortins, Karen Nelson, Stuart Groton, Sue Kasman, Romy Bat Shira V'Yoel, Chava Bat Avraham V'Sara, Gershom Bat Shimon, Sharon Chaya Bat Shoshan, Violet Sarah Bat Farangis V'Moshe, Marsha Brown, Shoshana Rachel Bat Malka Devora, Randy Katz, David Natan Ben Yaakov Halevi V'Yehudit, Roberta Wolfson, Tina Sparks, Meir Ben Batsheva, Yeshua David Ben Fegela, Esther Bat Sarah, and Ephraim Ben Betzalel. If you have a name that you'd like to add, Rabbi Vogel and I will make our way across the room. Refuah Shlema. Refuah Shlema to all those in need of healing. You may be seated. We're going to continue with the fifth Aliyah, Numbers chapter 8, verse 23, down on page 819.
Ta'amod. Asna Belka Bat Yosef Golda Chamishi.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai. No, I'm sorry. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'harbanu mikol ha'amin v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten Torah.
Amen. Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe לאמור, זו עשה של לווים בן 15 שנה ומעלה, יבוא לצבא צבא בעבודה עשור המועד, ובן 50 שנה ישוב מצווה עבודה ולא יעבוד עוד, ושיעשה שכר באור המועד לשמור משמרת, ועבודה לא יעבוד, ככה תעשה ללווים במשמרתם.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'hayei olam nata b'toheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten Torah.
Continue with the sixth Aliyah, Numbers chapter 9, verse 1.
Talmud. Sharona Bat Prince Baila, Shishi.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'harbanu mikol ha'amin v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vaydaber Adonai al Moshe v'midbar Sinai b'shana hashenit l'tzeitam eretz Mitzrayim b'chodesh harishon lemor v'yasu b'nei Yisrael et ha'pasach b'moado barba asar yom b'chodesh hazeh ve'ein harbayim tasu otoho b'moado k'chol chukotav u'chol mishpotav tasu otoho vaydaber Moshe el b'nei Yisrael lasot hapasach v'ya'asu et hapesach barishon be'arba'a asar yom lachodesh bein ha'arbayim b'midbar Sinai Kechol asher tziva Adonai et Moshe kehen asuhu b'nei Yisrael vayhi anashim אשר היו טמאים לנפש אדם, ולא יכלו לעשות הפסח ביום ההוא, ויקרבו לפני משה ולפני אהרון ביום ההוא, ויאמרו האנשים ההמה אליו, אנחנו טמאים לנפש אדם, למה ניגרע לבלתי הקריב את קרבן אדוני במועדו לתוך בני ישראל. ויאמר עליהם משה עמדו ואשמע מה יצווה אדוני לכם.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lonu Torat emet, v'haye olam nota bechotenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
And continue with our seventh Aliyah, Numbers chapter 9, verse 9, found on page 820.
Ya'amod Yared ben Shlomo Shvi'i.
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bacha bonu mikol ha'amim, v'notan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, daber el bnei Yisrael lemor, ish ki tamei lanefesh, o baderech rechoka lachem, o ledorotechem v'yasa Pesach l'Adonai, b'chodesh hasheni be'arba'a asar yom, Ben ha'arbaim ya'asu oto, al matzot umrorim, yochluhu, lo yisharu, mimenu ad boker, v'etzem lo yishberu bo, kechol chukat ha'pesach ya'asu oto, v'ha'ish asher hu tahor, uvaderech lo haya, v'chadal ba'asot ha'pesach, v'nichreta ha'nefesh hahi me'amecha, Ki korban Adonai, lo hikriv b'moado, chet'o yisa ha'ishahu, v'chi yigor etchem ger. Ve'asa Pesach Adonai, kechukat ha'Pesach, kemishbechoto, ken ya'aseh chukat echad haya lachem, yiyeh lachem, V'lager l'aaretz ha'aretz.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher notan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam nota b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Ya'amod ha'magbiet, ha'amod ha'golelet.
You've been honored with Hagba or Glila. If you'll come forward at this time, we rise together.
V'zot ha'Torah asher sa Moshe lifnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe.
May be seated. Now put away your Etz Chaim Chumash, take out your Siddur again, as I want to thank all of our amazing Torah readers, Bob Epstein, Adam Singer, David Bruskin, Rick Schillender, Leslie Schillender, Mazal Tov Yasher Koach. We're going to continue in just a moment with the Ashrei on page 181.
Okay, so take apart.
We rise for the returning of the Torah to the Ark. If you've been honored with opening the Ark, please come forward at this time. We turn to page 183.
Yeah, hallelujah, Shem Adonai, ki nizgav shemo levado, hodo al eret v'shamayim, vayaren keren le'amo, tehila lecho chasidav, livnei Yisrael, am kerovo. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Olam chesed yibaneh. Da-da-dai, da-dai, da-dai-dai. Olam chesed yibaneh.
remain standing for the Musaf Amidah found on page 185. Feel free to follow along in the Hebrew, the English, or the prayers found in your heart. Continue on page 203, Kaddish Shalem.
Yitkara v'yikra shemei Rabbah v'yamad divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayachon v'yamachon v'chayei l'chol Beit Yisrael Bagalau vizman kari ve'imeru.
Amen.
Yehi
Shmei Rabba Mevorach, Le'olam Olam Me'amaya
Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitbar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitalev, v'yitalal, shemeda kudisha. Brichule, lamiko v'gata, v'shirata, tushbachata, v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alama, v'yimeru. Titkabal, salotonu, v'atahon, decho Yisrael, kodama, v'hon, v'yishmaya, v'yimeru. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'yimeru. Oseh shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'yimeru.
Amen. We rise for the Aleinu found on page 205.
Aleinu l'shameach l'adon ha'kol, v'ateinu la'leotzer breshit, shelo asanu ki goyei haratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu k'chol ha'amonam, v'anachnu koreim u'mishlachavim
You may be seated. At this moment of memorial, we acknowledge recent bereavements in our community. We mourn the passing of Sally Sanders, mother of Lisa Michael Harwin. The funeral was back east, and Lisa's returning, I believe, soon back to our community. We mourn the passing of Paul Treitman, father of Tina and Gary Orkin. Paul has passed away yesterday, a funeral being set for next week. We also mourn the passing of Carol April Bernstein, the mother of Randy Bernstein. If you are observing a yahrzeit, before everybody stands up who's reciting Kaddish, I invite you, if this is the Shabbat of the yahrzeit, for you to rise and to share the individual that you are thinking of. Esther Silver, you're at? Yes, good thing. Anybody else for yahrzeit? I'm thinking of David. Oh, yes, you have Joyce. Yes, you do. Your mother, Joyce Joyce Lorch. My grandmother, Bryna Jabkowski. This is the Shabbat of her Yortzeit as well. For all those who are reciting Kaddish, I invite you to rise at this time. And at home, if you are reciting Kaddish, we invite you to stand as well with us, we, your sacred community, to be able to recite these words of affirmation and of life. Those reciting Kaddish join together. Yit Gadal v'Yit Kadash Shemer. Amen. Yomad Divrach Yerutei v'Yamlich Malchutei. V'chayechon v'Yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. V'agalav v'Zman Kariv v'Meru. Amen. Yehe Shmei Rabam Avorach Le'olam U'Me'omaya. Yitbarach, Yishtabach, Yitpa'ar, Yitromam, Yitnaseh, Yithadar, Yitalev, Yithalal, Shemei Kudashah, Brichu, Le'elam, Min Kol Birchata, V'Shirata, Tushbechata, V'Nechamata, Da'amiran, V'Alma, V'Meru, Amen. Yehe Shlama Rabbat Min Shemaya, V'Chaim Aleinu, V'Al Kol Israel, V'Meru, Amen. Oseh Shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh Shalom. Aleinu b'al kol Yisrael, Meru, Amen. May God who establishes peace in the heavens grant peace and harmony for us, for all of Israel and all of humanity, as we say, Amen. By the way, the full list of the Yortzeits for this week you'll find outside, as we put them there as well for you to be able to see and acknowledge. Debbie Strom, you're going to share with us, I believe, some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And welcome to everyone who's here with us in the sanctuary and watching online. Thank you to Chazan Mimi, Rabbi Mendelson, I love saying that, Rabbi Vogel, and also to Mason, our upcoming bar mitzvah, for leading this morning's service. Next Friday evening at 8 o'clock, we're back here in the sanctuary for every third Shabbat with Chazan Stein. And there is a theme every month, and next week it is the best of ETS as we count down the weeks before Chazan Stein's retirement. Next Saturday morning at 10, we will be back here again, and Asher Applebaum will become a bar mitzvah. Mazel tov to Asher and his family. After the service next Saturday, Rabbi Cheryl Peretz will be here teaching her contemporary issues class, and this happens right after Kiddush lunch. During this week, join Rachel Rosenberg and Bundles of Kindness in addressing the status of homelessness and assembling care packages for those experiencing homelessness in our community. This takes place also here at Aliyah at 2:30, and that is Thursday afternoon. Thursday evening, 7 o'clock, is the next West Valley Film Society meeting with Rabbi Mendelson. This month's film is The Outrageous Sophie Tucker, and just like a book club, you need to watch the movie in advance, and the discussion will take place this week on Zoom only. Information on streaming the film is on our website, and you do need to RSVP to receive the Zoom link. Chazan Mike Stein will become Chazan Emeritus at the end of this month, and we are honoring him and saying farewell with a concert right here on Sunday afternoon, June 25th. Chazan Stein's friends, Peter Yarrow, Neshama Karlbach, and Craig Taubman, will also be here to sing and celebrate with us. Please visit our website for more information and to RSVP. This is an event you don't want to miss. It's a one-time only. For more information about all services and events, just ask us, check your emails, or visit our website at templealiyah.org. Finally, as always, thank you for being a part of Aliyah's story. Shabbat Shalom.
By the way, starting in July, as we finalize the merger and the announcement of the name coming out on Monday, God willing, just to know, this service time is going to change from 10 o'clock to 9:45. We've been talking about this a little bit. So we're going to start 15 minutes earlier. There will be a service also in the chapel. We're deciding on final names for these services. Rather than call it musical or more traditional or whatever, we're going to come up with names of it. This one will probably be the Neshama service. And so we'll have a description for different ones that we have that will be readily recognizable. The service in the chapel will start at 9:30. and I have this crazy idea. We're going to experiment a little bit to see whether we might not be able to do the Torah service together. So it means we have to time it well. So hopefully during the summer, you'll be open to a little bit of experimentation as we try and figure out how it all works. It's going to be very exciting to figure this out together. So we look forward to you sharing that. Friday night service times will also be changing during the summer and afterwards. We will not be having any more virtual services. Everything will be we'll be able to live stream many of them. But coming together each Friday night will be unique as well. Those are information that's going to be coming out, but excitement about this process and the community we're building together. If you have any questions, please, you can ask Debbie Strom any question you have. Or Rabbi Mendel, so even better. Anyway, you coming up, Mason? We're going to lead us. Let's rise together for Vishamru and Kiddush.
Kein Berach et Yom HaShabbat Vayikad Shehu Sarin Haverai Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Borei Vari HaGafen.
Drink it. It's okay. You can drink it. It's grape juice. It's grape juice. Don't worry. All right, you're going to wash your hands as well. All right, Natilat Yadayim, and then you're going to recite. Yeah, and then we'll do the blessing after. So, right, ritual is wash each hand. Right, there one. Good, now the other one. And as you're drying it, the tradition is you recite this blessing about the uplifting of the hands. So come on back.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Asher Kiddushanu b'mitzotav v'tivanu al natilat yadayim.
All right. We always say there's a lot of magic here at Temple Aliyah. So we want you to underneath there. Go ahead. You see that cover there? There's nothing there right now. There you go. There you. Whoa! All right. Take a hold of the two chalot. Nicely done. All right. We're going to do Motzi together. Come on.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam Hamotzi lehem min haaretz. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat 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 Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ay, ay, ay. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat
Yes,